The NFL season is wrapping up, and there's still time to get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to a practice edition of the Garden Report. A light session today. Celtics wrapping up pretty quickly. By the time we got in today, it didn't look like a very intense, involved practice. And it's the final one before the NBA trade deadline on Thursday. Celtics going to play one more time ahead of that 3 p.m. deadline. And not a big topic of conversation in the locker room, Derrick said. Guys aren't talking about it right now. It doesn't seem like Joe Mazzulla is having many conversations with guys either about where to keep their mind at. Of course, there's not a lot of rumors around the Celtics right now. The reporting in terms of guys they've been connected to, some small upgrades along the edges of the rosters. Brad Stevens indicated to us a month ago that there's going to be nothing substantial. I think that's pretty obvious given the state of the roster. No real injury concerns now either. Jaylen Brown's going to be good to go tomorrow after missing last game. So is something going to happen? I'd say probably. I think between the TPE and the amount of assets they have, I think 8 second-round picks, bunch of firsts into the future, the urgency of this season, that if the price is right on a guy and you can just add him to the mix, they, of course, have a roster spot open. I think you do that. But as Brad said, it's a small window of guys. Some of the names that get tossed around, like Kelly Olynyk, way too expensive in my mind. Needs way too big of a role, frankly, in this offense here and in the rotation. So I'm not expecting anything substantial. Of course, Mazzulla did talk about a little bit today, just his mindset, his role in it all. Here's what he had to say in terms of how he's approaching his second deadline here.
No, I mean, we talk, obviously. We talk every day. But really just kind of listening, understanding. I think, like I said before, the most important thing for me is never being a coach that always feels like we have to have something. And very comfortable with our roster, very confident with 1 through 17, and everybody on our roster has done something to impact winning, and that's the most important thing. And so that's kind of my focus.
And that's kind of what you relate to Brad, that you guys have enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's his job to, obviously make that decision, but I never want to be a coach that feels like you always have to have something else, and more about just focus on what we want to make better. So that's kind of where I'm at, and, he does what he does.
So I think that's where I'm at, too. If they don't do anything on Thursday, I'm not going to be up in arms. If they do something minor, that's fine. I don't think anything they do is going to have a substantial impact on this team's championship aspirations. So never hurts to be proactive in terms of adding a guy. I do think the one interesting thing, as I wrote yesterday, Neemias Queta coming up on 50 games played. He's been active for 37 out of that maximum 50. So early March, he's going to need an upgrade to a standard contract to keep playing for the Celtics, and of course needs it ahead of the playoffs if they want to make him playoff eligible. So some reporting that Celtics are looking at big men. Does that go back to them not believing in strongly giving him a new contract, or him being a playoff option for this team? He continues to play well. So I would think just in terms of even developing him into the future, you want to get him a long-term deal here. But we'll see. They're going to keep monitoring that. No urgency, again, ahead of the end of the season to do that. But that March window there is probably going to be around the time you need to make a call on that, just to add some certainty and keep him available for a team. He has been that depth big, and Mazzulla said he's entered that circle of trust as well. So all things to watch for. We're going to have a trade deadline special coming up 2 o'clock on Thursday. Check that out. Of course, plenty of previews going on over the next couple of days. Any rumors, reports, we'll jump on and react to them here on Celtics All Access. So make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications. We could be going live at any point after a trade. So it's that time of year. Stay tuned here, CLNS Media, for all the reaction from practice today, all the discussion. And there's been a practice edition of the Garden Report. I'm Bobby Manning. We'll talk to you tomorrow.